Good morning, it's just coming up to 6:30 on Saturday the 19th of July. I'm back at Ben Nevis again. This time I'm going to do the CMD Arete route, which takes you around via the north face past Tower Gully. I'm starting my walk at the Visitor Centre. Most people start in the north face car park, but I'm going to take the route up the tourist path when I get to Halfway Lock, turning left instead of turning right to go up and round via the CMD Arete. Weather's looking good, hopefully not too much rain today. It is forecast to set in this afternoon, so that's why the early start this morning. So with any luck, I'll be back at the Visitor Centre before the torrential rain starts. So come with me as I take on the CMD Arete. Okay, so I'm an hour and 20 minutes in. So far we've climbed 1,505 feet. Just coming up to the first switchback that takes me up to the lock, and that's where I leave all the lovely people that are doing the Three Peaks Challenge, who keep passing me because they've got a really tight pace to keep to. I'm going to head off for the north face. They're going to take the standard path up to the top. Okay, it's 8:20. That way is the pig path or the pony track, and this way is the way I'm going, which is CMD Arete, which is going to take me round to the north side and up the north face of Ben Nevis, including a 245 metre scramble up some scree to get to the summit. So this is where we start the video from. So if you haven't watched the other video of me climbing Ben Nevis, the first part of that up to Halfway Lock, exactly the same route as I took this morning. So let's see how we get on with this. Weather's holding out really well. No sign of any rain. It's been incredibly warm and humid, so I am sweating like anything, making sure I take on lots of liquid. So here we go. So there's Ben. That's where I'm headed. That's the CMD Arete. Let's see how we get on. Wow. Absolutely stunning and so peaceful. Apart from my boots on the gravel. This is what it's all about. Okay, owing to missing a turn on the path, I'm now having to do a scramble up here to get back to where I should be. Whew. Okay, this is taking a lot longer to climb up the valley, but we're almost there. We're almost back at CMD Arete. Whew. I'm not going to say how long this is going to take. Okay, so just over 5 hours, thanks to my scenic detour via the CIC hut, which I've now completed. We're back on the path on the CMD Arete, and this is what it's all about. Okay, this is where I'm heading next. Okay, so no trig point here, but this is the top of the CMD, and now we head off down that way after I found somewhere to sit down and refuel, because we're going to need it for this next bit. Across the Arete, back up the other side, and then 245 metre scramble to the top. Ben is out of the clouds again. I bet by the time I get there, he'll be back in the mist. As you can hear, or probably hear, it's quite breezy up here, so best I keep moving. Okay, so over there is where I stopped for lunch. This is the Arete. There's the summit of Ben, and that's where I've got to go. Check in next when I hit the summit. Okay, that's the CMD Arete done. Top of Ben Nevis, 8 hours and 21 minutes. Now all I've got to do is find my way back down to my camper van and a very, very large cider. guys, so that's the CMD Arete route done. 11 hours and 56 minutes to complete the circuit, even with my little mistake, which is not too bad. That's still within the 8 to 12 hour guide time. Unfortunately the weather did turn, couldn't see anything at the top of Ben Nevis this time. It was wet the whole way down, so I didn't record this outro. As I was walking back to the van, I just wanted to get back, get showered, get changed and get dry. So here we are.